we are back in the craft closet, which means we're making something, obviously. I've been wanting to make myself my own like custom planner for a year. I made a little planner, like my actual own planner. I'm gonna have this downloadable for y'all if you're interested. But we made a little cover, and I think it's perfection. Sorry, I'm yelling. Calm down, Hannah. Anyways, we made this out of pairs of jeans because I love the leather planner covers that people do, but I just didn't want to buy more shit when I have quite literally a massive bin of fabric sitting next to me and 3 more at the top. And I did have to order some things, so I'm going to go over our materials list. So first things first, you're going to need a pair of jeans. Now, I use 2 pairs of jeans because of the height and the width of this strip of fabric. Here, I'll show you. But I needed wider parts of the jeans to do it all in one piece. I didn't want any seams on this that were like folds or anything. So you're gonna need 1 to 2 pairs of jeans. If I was only making one of this, I would have only needed 1 pair of jeans there. So you're gonna need jeans or whatever fabric you're using, a shirt, a yard of fabric, whatever. I don't care. As long as you like it. Okay. You're also gonna need some stabilizer depending on your fabric. I got this quilting stabilizer because it's a little thick, but it's not super thick, and it's iron on. Also, basting adhesive. The reason I'm using basting adhesive is because I'm using 2 pairs of jeans. One of them has a lot more stretch than the other. And again, just to help with things not shifting when I go to put it on my machine. I'll walk y'all through all of this, obviously. Just shits and giggles types of stuff. Studs, very easy to put on, super cute. A binder ring. I'll link the ones that I got. Oh, if you're doing denim fabric or some sort of thick, heavy duty fabric, I recommend getting the proper sewing needles. Now, this isn't going to be a super thick project. I have done thicker denim work where if I'm not using a denim needle, it will break. Didn't have any issues with that on this one because it wasn't as thick as some other stuff I've done, but denim sewing needles, okay? Your needle makes such a difference when you're sewing for so many different reasons. If you're using the wrong needle for, say you're using like a delicate fabric and you're using a thick needle, so you're going to have puncture holes all through that fabric. Say you're using a thin needle with thick fabric, that needle is going to bend, break, can jam your machine. I've had needles break and fall inside of my machine where I've had to take them apart. I'm going on too much of a tangent. Anyways, other than that, you need thread. I'm going to also link, hopefully, if I can figure it out, like a little free pattern print for this shape so that you don't have to figure it out yourself. So you can just print it off and use the pattern. I did put a little grommet ring back here because at some point I want to get like some charms to put on here or make some. I don't know what I want to do about that yet, but I made sure there was a place for it. You will need small grommets. Forgot about that. You'll need some small grommets for how you're putting in the elastic to wrap around, and you will need some thin elastic, thick elastic ribbon, whatever you want to do. This is really beginner friendly. We're only using a straight stitch on our machine. So we're working with about 21 inches along. I made a little pattern. I am going to figure out a way to digitize this and have it as like a little free download for you to where you can print this off and not have to worry about doing any of the math. Then from there, once you have your pattern, you are going to cut your fabric. I did one blue and one black. Rotary cutter is nice for this, but regular scissors, you know, work with what you got, baby. Once you have your 2 pieces cut, depending on your stabilizer, if you have an iron-on one, yay. If you have a sew-down one, love that for you as well. So I ironed on my stapler onto the side that matched the iron-on side. And now we are going to easily just spray down this opposite side of it and attach our blue to our black. So I've got my basting. I'm going to do it from one side to the other. Do it in sections because like I said, my blue fabric does stretch more. I am trying not to get it on the actual fabric because I want those pieces to fray, you know. So first we line up here. I want to make sure everything is lined up where I want it, especially when it comes to this, you know, star area. So, and I don't want any like wrinkle, like folds in it. So, yeah, we're gonna have to. And this is the thing. This is a little annoying, but I would much rather do it right here. You see how that's like bubbling? I don't want that. I'd much rather do it right here than once I've gotten it on the machine. If you have a sensitive nose, this does smell chemically. I got a little bit on the fabric, but it'll be okay. Okay, one thing I did not mention, my stabilizer, I cut 1/4 of an inch shorter. I took the pattern in by 1/4 of an inch. Yeah, I took the pattern in by 1/4 of an inch in order to have corner edges that'll fray. So when we go to sew this, we're gonna go in just about 1/4 of an inch. I'm gonna trim where the blue stretched further, and which is okay that I did that, but now it's in its place. It won't do it anymore. That's the nice part about this project is it's fun, but it's got a lot of room for error, especially if this is like your first sewing project. There's a lot of room to mess up. So now that we've got all our pieces attached with the basting and the iron on and everything, we're going to go through and just do a straight stitch around the edges. I'm going to go in about 1/4 of an inch. Something else I would recommend is if you have a twin needle, I don't feel like dealing with twin needle, but if you have a twin needle, thread that and then it'll give you some extra support for when you have these frayed edges, that if they do fray a little bit past the stitching that you've done, you've got a backup one back there too. This is my sewing machine. So we are going to just do a straight stitch. I kept it, I'm doing a shorter straight stitch. My length is at a 1.5 on this machine, and I'm doing it tighter because we're gonna have those frayed edges. I don't want them coming through the stitching that we're gonna do. Your machine should have some sort of like ruler system on it. If it doesn't, you can just measure it out, put some tape. Okay, so we're just gonna bust on through this. I'm also just locking my stitch on the corners too, just for extra security. Okay, and that probably took less than 5 minutes, honestly. All right, so once we've done all that top stitching, that is actually it for the sewing machine. What we're gonna do next is I like to go in and start pulling the threads on the edges of this to start it fraying, like that. And then from there, I'm gonna put it in the washer and dryer. Now you can do this with tweezers, sandpaper. I'll do both probably, but first I'm gonna just pull some of them loose, go put it in the dryer, let it do its thing. Now, depending on what fabric you're using, you may not be able to do this fraying situation. We got it out the dryer. We've got some good fraying going so far. We just gotta do it some more. I'm gonna use tweezers. These tweezers kind of suck though. When I didn't have nails in my fingers on mine, I just was pulling it. I'm just going with some tweezers and just pulling to fray. It is nice to just have the pieces that are sticking out too. In my opinion, I think that's good for this side. So now that we have frayed our edges, sewed our pieces together, it's time to put in the necessary tools. We've got a finder ring for her. Oh, all the studs. That's what we're about to do next anyway. Doing all these studs is probably going to be the part that takes the longest. These are the prong studs. Okay, you see, these are the prong studs. So you'll stick it in and then fold the edges over. So I used a butter knife for this. Now with this denim situation, it is a little thick getting them through. So try not to poke yourself. I poked myself aplenty. And yeah, you just gotta kind of map out what you want. I did all my corners first and then kind of went in from there. We had to move it to the couch because I'm gonna be sitting here for a minute putting all these on. I need some back support. But we're gonna go in and put all of our studs. Basically, what you're doing is, you see these 4 little metal pieces? when you stick it through, I'm just taking a butter knife and folding them down. Now, you could probably use small pliers, your nails, whatever. This is what works easiest for moi. So I'm just taking the butter knife and just boop, folding, boop. And I'm using the end, because on mine, they're kind of rounded, and just pushing them all down into the fabric. This is probably the longest part of the project. Once we finish this, we just put our binder ring in and the grommets, and we are finitos. Now, there are other styles of studs that you can get. I got these because they were the cheapest. I told y'all I wasn't trying to spend like money on this. I think these were $6 for like 200 or something like that. So I got these because they were the cheapest, but they do have the kind where it would screw in and you put like a backing on it. So I imagine you'd have to make your holes and then pop it through. That did not take nearly as long as I thought. I do have one more to still put on, but I thought I'd do it with y'all. And we may add 2 more up here, but I want to get our grommet on first so that we know we have room for it. And then I can always go in and add some additional studs. Another option, and the reason I did not do it this way was because I wasn't sure where the studs were gonna go. You could do this part first, so that way you only have it on one of the strips of fabric and it'd be easier to poke through, and then you wouldn't see it through the other side. But because I kind of figured out what I was doing as I was doing it, this is how I did it, and I'm not mad at seeing the studs. But there we go, there's hers all folded. Cute, cute. Here's mine. So now we're gonna go add in her binder ring and her grommet and her strap. Mark my spots for it. Right here. Roll it on the side. We're looking at like, damn, this marker doesn't work. Okay. So we also need our 2 smaller grommets. We're gonna do silver. I think I have 2 silvers. Yep. Once you have your 2 grommets on, you're gonna push your elastic through it. Okay. To the length that you need. I did mine a little shorter than my width, so like right there should be good. All right, I've got white elastic for this one, I forgot. That should be a good length. Cool, cool. All right, now it's time for our big grommet that's gonna go up here. This is where it's gonna go. We use this little piece first. First little hammer, okay? And you will make your hole. Your little device. And look at, that's how it's supposed to look. Not like this. It's supposed to look clean like that. For the binder rings, it's just got these 2 holes and it comes with the little screws. So really you just make your holes where you need them and you just screw it in, honestly. You can use a flathead. I used a butter knife at the time because that was what I had next to me, and it's probably what I'm gonna do today because I don't have a flathead next to me. And I don't feel like looking for one. Ah! Okay, so we just need to pop another hole in this thing. How did I do this before? Is the real question. Oh, maybe with this. Okay, be right back. You want to get it on there pretty screwed in pretty tight. She is all done. I added her paper clips, and then I also added her notebook paper. Now I ordered her a couple packs of it for when she needs more, if she needs more. So we've got her all full, ready, closed up. Boom. I hope you guys try and recreate this. If you do, I want to see it, obviously. This is both of them next to each other. If you'd like to see them together. How freaking cute is that? There they are.